Hey, podcast listening people, what is going on? I got my man Christian in Dubai. You're the first Dubai interview.
That's
Yeah,
nice. I'm glad.
from across the pond, man. How's it going over there?
It's wonderful. Temperature is perfect, so cannot complain so far.
What counts as a perfect temperature in Dubai?
I mean, and it's like 30, 32 degrees Celsius, which is around, in your things, it's around 89, something like that.
89? That's
Yes.
still pretty hot, man.
But it's
89
very
degrees.
dry. It's very dry,
Uh-huh.
so that's lovely. Anyway,
I would expect it to be like really humid out there.
no, and instead it's not. I mean, I've been many times to Miami, and there is really humid. With the same temperature, you sweat a lot. But in here, it's pretty dry. I mean,
Yeah.
summertime it gets a little bit excessive. It can go up to 120 to 130 Fahrenheit. That's kind of a lot. That's become
Man,
honestly unbearable. But
that's
the swimming
crazy.
pools are chilled. So even if you jump on the water, you get chilled, and that's it.
Uh-huh. Do you have a swimming pool in your building there?
Yes, here it's almost mandatory that every building has a pool, and I have the seaside in front of me, so it's kind of a nice place.
Yeah, I would imagine. There's probably certain parts it's like, man, you literally can't even go outside right now. It's so
Uh,
hot.
no. It's a perfect season. I mean, at least for me. But eventually, for you that you are from US, you will need a little bit of AC here and there.
Yeah, definitely. Now, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Italy, the country of pasta and pizza,
And
as
he
you
is
can
a
probably guess from my accent.
yeah, and you're a pizza man. You even wrote a book about pizza.
Of course, the pizza guide to digital marketing. So, as I started as a very serious person doing many conferences and many trainings 10 years ago, and then everyone start like the fact that I use always the pizza to explain complex stuff, and that's it. And suddenly I became the pizza marketing guy. So everyone would see me around. Nobody remember my name, but everyone remembered the pizza, which is
Of
fine for
course,
me.
you match the Italian accent with like the pizza branding. It's like it's like peanut butter and jelly right there.
I like it. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So give us a background. Please brag about yourself a little bit. Talk about some of the big wins you've had over the years, and your life and what really led you up to where you are in your career today.
Right now, I typically don't like to brag about myself, but I can tell you that I've been launching and running campaign since 2003, which is now basically 17 years that I've been launching digital marketing campaigns. Even though for the first 7 years, I was never heard about the word digital marketing. So actually, I was a crazy guy doing crazy stuff that nobody understand. And actually, I launched my first campaign as a B2B campaign for Oracle, because at the time I was working in Dublin, in Ireland. And then ever since, I've been always finding different way to get clients online. Because I was thinking, how is it possible that even a corporate like Oracle, so advanced in technology, actually is the company that invented database, in sales, aside of using a CRM, obviously Oracle CRM, they haven't done anything out of the world to increase the sales, aside of launching events and marketing campaign the traditional way. And that's how I start digging down online and creating things on my own. And that's it. And I've done it ever since. Then every few weeks, a few months, because
Oh, I think we just lost your audio there.
still, let's see, still,
Yes, you're
all
cutting
right.
in and out a little bit.
Okay. So I was saying that then suddenly because I was participating at many conferences, I start also as a speaker and as a trainer. So I got the chance to meet a lot of international speaker, and I participate to a lot of mastermind. So that's how I came across the idea that every few days there is something new around. And so I dig down into my passion of realizing every possible angle, every possible activity on digital marketing, until one day I decided to create a strategy on my own. And that's what I did 9 years ago, because I was sick and tired that every day there is somebody new coming out with a new strategy, new strategy, new strategy. So basically, you take whatever you learned until that, scrap it up, wrap it up, throw it away, and start scratch. When Google came in, that was a massive, massive revolution. But then when Facebook came in, was the social media revolution. Then the video came in with YouTube, and again, every 3 to 6 months, There was something new. So I create something which is evergreen, which doesn't matter how many things there are around. There is always a way to understand what's going on, despite the fact that every few months there is going to be something new. And that's what I'm also teaching at many trainings that I've done so far. So I've calculated that I've been training more than 10,000 students so far. Typically marketing manager from large corporates, sometimes entrepreneur, sometimes CEOs, sometimes people in sales, business development, startup owners, a bunch of different characters from different countries. Mainly here in the Middle East, but sometimes doing trainings also in Europe, in Italy. I've been also in Silicon Valley a couple of years ago, and 1.5 years ago I was also at NASA. So that's how far I stretch from Dubai, which is beautiful because I can get a flight and go on a direct flight to Silicon Valley or to Asia like that. A little bit long, but it can be done. So that's how I kept myself busy. And then 10 years ago, I opened my digital agency here in Dubai. And again, that's my main activity. That's my main business, since training for me, it's a passion. But I mean, the business that I'm running for the last 10 years, that's how I feed my family, basically.
Yeah. What was it? What was the light bulb that went off in your, what were you doing before the light bulb went off on this whole thing we call digital marketing?
I mean, actually, I was in sales. So in Oracle, my job was to sell, 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 sell. I didn't have even the time to think about the technology, even though I'm an IT engineer, but still I was selling, selling, selling with the target to reach every single week, every single month. And then that's why I realized that with so much technology, I know that I can use all of this power within a computer, and at the time, the internet, because it was 2003, and I helped generating sales. So the first things that I find out was Google AdWords, pay-per-click, which nowadays every human being on earth, they kind of use it. But 17 years ago was something out of the planet. I mean, it was the revolution of advertising. And even the marketing team of Oracle was not aware about it, and they don't even understand what was that, because it was in Silicon Valley, a competitor of Oracle. I mean, you know that the big guys, they cannot even mention or name each other. There is this kind of rivalry. And so I say, okay, that's it. But I got my country manager at the time that allowed me to run a test project with his own credit card, and that's it. And then that's how I started.
That's
So that's
crazy.
that's basically the craziness of digital marketing. Even though I was calling it getting clients online. So in the old days, I remember that this was getting clients online. And only 7 years later, I was at the conference and I met an American speaker, and he mentioned for the first time the word digital marketing. So I realized that this was something that I was doing for 7 years. I was a crazy guy doing crazy stuff. And then finally, I realized that there were other crazy people like me. And that's when I realized that this was time to open my own company. And then I got as a clients even from Thomson Reuters to Bayer, Armani, Huawei, you name it. Because, I mean, at the time, there was absolutely nobody that knew this stuff. And so suddenly I became very fast the go-to person in all Middle East for any kind of knowledge about digital marketing. And
What do you,
that's it. Then I start becoming also a trainer for digital transformation, because then a lot of companies, they start realizing that they need to be digital, not only in marketing, in a lot more than that. And then like 3 years ago, I started also with the PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, to be a lecturer for digital transformation. So that's basically the progressing career from within digital, from marketing to transformation to now AI, because that's the latest topic that large corporations are attracted. And there we
do you
are.
feel like AI right now is kind of where digital marketing was in the early 2000s, late 1990s,
Great
late 90s?
question. It's a crazy topic, because I know that when I've been speaking at some corporate or some events, sometimes some people, some senior manager, they told me that, so look, I was kind of aware about AI, but not so much, and finally understand the real potential. But for me, it's something very old, because I remember that in 2002, more or less, I was already programming AI on my computer, and I also got I also won a competition from Microsoft, and this was like 18 years ago. So this is not something new at all. But at the moment, only the large company can afford to develop something with AI. There are some interesting startups doing something easygoing for everyone, but it's going to take a little bit of time until AI is going to be for everyone.
How is AI playing a role in digital marketing? I know this is a very hot topic, but it's very complicated, and it also kind of feels like one of those buzzwords, floating around out there, AI marketing or, using AI for sales. So from your perspective, what is that,
Yes.
what's the tangibility to it?
Yeah, indeed, it's a buzzword. I remember when I've been a couple of years ago to GITEX, here the largest technology exhibition in the Middle East or in Asia. Every company was mentioning AI and digital transformation. Even if you're selling toilets, there was about AI and digital transformation. This was the buzzword. Every single stand of the exhibition was mentioning it. But aside of it, I mean, the huge advertising company are already using it for quite a long time. I mean, Facebook and Google are already using AI to basically to target perfect individuals based on similarities. What are the lookalike audience in Facebook is just a perfect, simple application of AI. The same thing is doing Google. When we select an audience and we want to get other people like the people that they purchase something, like the people that they convert, again, they're using AI. And then some companies, some little startup, they need to show off that they use AI because it's their unique selling point. The big company, they don't even say that. They just use it and they get a massive advantage over those that they're not using AI. So I can say that now data science, it's one of the topic growing quite fast. Data scientists are heavily in demand, but for the corporate side. For the small companies, it's going to take maybe probably a few years until some of those organizations, they figure out some affordable way to do it.
Is that real because there's not enough data to justify implementing something AI related versus large enterprises are working with millions and millions of different data points?
Even with the not much data, you can get quite interesting results, but it's still expensive because it's a cool topic. Everyone want to jump on it, so they highly price themselves. This reminds me a little bit, not like digital marketing, but like websites in 2000, 2001.
They're a fad, right?
Exactly, because at the time I was working for Telecom Italia, the large telecom operator in Italy, and I was the fourth person in the department to develop websites for large clients of the Telecom Italia group. And at the time, I remember we used to sell websites even at $500,000, but this was 20 years ago. So $500,000 20 years ago was an incredible amount of money. You can build a factory for that amount.
Yeah.
But then it was a big fad. So this is right now AI has a big advantage, but he's sold way more expensive than what it should for now. So I guess that in a few years, then it's going to become more affordable. There is going to be better and easier tool that they allow any organization with few knowledge just to implement some AI tools for their organization. And then most of the AI is going to be used by existing company. Let's say if you use analytics with any supplier, now pretty much you get access to some of their AI features. So this is how we get used to it. Even procurements, even I mean, they use predictive analytics, which they use AI, even though they don't understand anything about AI, but simply the system is giving them some idea. So
Give
that's how I see that is getting through the society in a little bit shady way.
Give an example of how AI can help with a complex B2B sale.
B2B typically, selecting the right people. It's all about that because we know, for example, in LinkedIn or anywhere that there are 500 million individuals that we can potentially target. AI can help by learning from us what good type of people they buy from us. He can teach the system to give us more people like that. So possibly we're going to sell it to that. Which in B2C is a little bit more obvious. In B2B, basically, it's about getting, again, similar people, similar individuals, and also helping the conversation. For example, now in many email software or even conversational software, we get advice on what to say. Even in some CRM, we can see even in Pipedrive, basically, he's doing most of the job of the sales manager by telling you, look, this type of opportunity, you should work on it because it's not being closed for so much time. This type of client, you can talk about this. So this is also social commerce, social CRM. They go more into the, like having an assistant that's going to tell you what to do.
Interesting. So the robots are telling us what to do now.
Like we see sometime in a futuristic movie where the police guy, he watched the computer and asked the criminal, now you stand and place your hands on top of the car, because he read what to say from the computer. Now we're going towards that. And you can see from the IoT devices, even the watches, now the watches, they tell you when to drink water, right? My wife got excited. She's into yoga and meditation and singing bowl for a very long time. She's a very big instructor. And one day she came back very excited because in her smartwatch tell her when to breathe. So I got a little bit shocked. So what happened? When the watch doesn't tell you to breathe, you just die. I say, no, but I tell you when you need to do a deep breath, when you need to take a deep breath. So it rings a little bit, take a deep breath. And then you take a deep breath.
When you calculate the strain of your body, your pulse, or whatever.
Exactly, and then they tell you when to drink based on your whatever pulse and any kind of stuff like this. So we are already following technology, and we're already following what AI is telling us to do. And I can see that this is gonna come more and more in the future. So be ready to do what your AI is gonna tell you to do.
See, shifting a little bit, one thing that still surprises me to this day, Christian, is so many CEOs, executive leadership teams in B2B sales related organizations are still resistant about digital marketing. They say, "Oh, my prospects aren't online." All my business I do in person through word of mouth referrals. Why do you think there's still so much resistance and pushback, and how can people overcome that mental hurdle of like, it's not even a question. You're in 2020, like you need digital marketing.
Yeah. So the main things that I've noticed, because sometimes I do also leadership training or leadership conferences where I explain senior executives about digital, of course, from a very, very subtle things. There, you don't talk about Facebook pixel and retargeting and remarketing. You talk about simple stuff. But I noticed that their mindset comes from the past, and they are fear to be left redundant. Because once you spend 30 years of your career learning something, and now you realize that something is going to be used less and less and less and less, and you need something else which we don't have a clue, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy to accept that. So that's why a lot of them, they completely reject. Because as a leader, you need to be in control of the organization. If people start talking to you about stuff that you have no clue, it's not going to be easy to stay in control. So that's why a lot of leaders, they reject completely digital. Others, they embrace digital as much as they can, knowing that it's not their age, it's not their way, but at least they understand that they need to hire experts on it. And then their role is going to be to manage those experts, not to understand how digital marketing works, not to know how to get clients online, how to run a Facebook campaign. But they need to understand the basics, because otherwise their entire organization is going to disappear. And we have seen that digital transformation, it's a required process, because huge worldwide organization has been failing and bankrupting in a matter of 1 to 2 years. So I always take the example of Nokia, the company that invented the GSM mobile phones. They got 60% of the market. 2 years later, they disappear. So that's heavy. Because a software company, Apple, entered in the mobile industry and suddenly took over in 2 years. So you cannot rely on the fact that you are big and strong and solid. You need to have something more. You need to have the right mindset at the leadership level to accept that and to work with them. Because now the figure of the chief digital officer, which I can see that a little bit more around large organization, should work at the same board level with the CEO, the CFO, the head of HR, and the COO. So it's not a figure that is like the IT manager. that can take care about the network works, the computer works, the printer always can print. That's the role of IT and security to make sure that nobody can hack in the network. Chief Digital Officer work together with the CEO, helping the CEO to get the new direction. That's how an effective company should work, and I can see some of them quite effective.
And some still resistant, still very behind the curve. So, and you've
unfortunately, yes.
Well, you've coached and trained and educated tens of thousands of people on this, and so how do you make it easy? How do you break down the foundations? You mentioned at the beginning that you've kind of uncovered these evergreen principles, and so what are those evergreen principles? If you could, break that down for everybody.
Sure. Now, first of all, how I make it easy for everyone, because there is always a pizza in my teaching. And oh, bless you. And everyone likes pizza. There is no question, right? And then, aside of joking a lot, because that's how we learn at the end of the day, the 5 main topics, the main principles that are evergreen are, first of them, traffic. Because even if we get the best website in the planet, without traffic, we don't go anywhere. Even the best, even a Ferrari shop or Armani shop in the middle of the desert is never going to sell one single item. And traffic, we count at the moment more than 1,500 tactics and channels to get traffic. So we think that there is pay-per-click, there is SEO, there is social media, there is email, there is mobile, and few more. Currently, there are more than 1,500 tactics to get traffic. But we use typically the one that our friend recommends us because he knows about it. He knows a lot about it. That's it. But there is not. If you ask any Facebook employee what they recommend you to do, a Facebook ad. If you ask any Googler what they recommend you to do, a Google campaign. And that's like that. But there are not so many individuals that have been trying almost every single tactic, and they can tell you based on each product and service what's going to work and what's not going to work. That's why to choose the right bunch of traffic source is very important. Second, where do we drive the traffic?
Let me pause you on that really quick, because I want to break that down. First off, what do you mean by traffic? How do you define traffic? And secondly, in 2020 right now, what's your absolute favorite go-to traffic source of all the 1,500?
So that's the $1 million question, because for traffic, I intend people that visit one of your digital assets, which can be your website or not only your website. Now, I don't have just one favorite traffic source, because it's always depend on your product, your target audience, and your market segments, and your geographic area. Based on that, there are some traffic sources that they work amazingly. Let's say like a Google pay-per-click is still good, but sometimes it can be too expensive. For other segments, like for B2C, typically Facebook and social media is quite good. But again, depending on the country, in some country it's coming almost too expensive. So to justify the social media ads, you need to have a massive return or a perfect system that is keep selling afterwards. Otherwise, you're spending more than the money that you make. So that's for me the things. Now, obviously, everyone is talking about TikTok nowadays and Thriller, because now if TikTok is going to be banned from US, there's going to be Thriller. But again, this is just a different traffic source. We cannot rely on one or two traffic sources. We need to have a bunch. And then, even if one of them or two of them, they fail or they become too expensive, we compensate with the others. But we cannot rely only on one or two traffic sources. Even if we're a small company, we need to have a bunch. Also, because in communication, when you get the message from 3 different sources, then we get convinced that that message is great, that product is great. I cannot feel that, yes, I trust you. Yes, yes. Because in your mind, you don't realize that you have seen the same message from 3 different sources. That's why you believe that the product is good for you. Where in the old days, the 3 sources used to be outdoor banner, TV, and radio. That's it. Now we have a lot more in digital. We can get any social network possible. We can get Google. We can get as many places as possible. So that's help building the image in our mind. And then after traffic, where do we drive this traffic? We drive it not only to your website, because most of organizations, they still think that at the center of their strategy
there should be your website. That is a mistake that I noticed 9 years ago when I create my own strategy, which I call it the walls. I will tell you later why the walls. Because websites used to be at the center of everything until Google came in, and then until Facebook came in, and then until YouTube came in, and then until Instagram came in. So then now, even if you don't have a website, you can still attract clients and you can still sell. That's why at the center, to put your website, it's wrong. It makes no sense anymore. And I noticed it 9 years ago. So we get a lot of traffic. Where we drive the traffic? To your windows. Basically, they are the digital assets where you showcase your products and services. Now, your website is just one of your windows. You may even have more websites. You may have 5 websites, even if you sell only one product. Because that product, you're going to showcase that in 5 different websites, in 5 different ways. So we can have one website perfect for families and showcase my mouse, the perfect mouse for the perfect family. Then we have a different website for business people, black, sleek. This is the mouse for the professionals. Then we have one website for American. This is the made in USA mouse, the best for Americans. And then we have one website for Arabs, the best website for Arabs built in Dubai. So one product sold in 5 different shops in 5 different flavors, and everyone is going to love it. This is the ultimate verticalization of a product. Then, even after all of your websites, you can have landing pages, each landing page that target a specific type of individual. And then, when we finish all of the normal web, we have other websites like the social networks. We can have now a shop on Facebook, on Instagram. And even after all of the social, we can have obviously our page in the video social, like TikTok, etc., Vine, you name it. And then we can showcase the product into the e-commerce platforms. We can have it on Amazon, on eBay, and whatever platform that is. We can have our product, our service into aggregators. Such if you are selling food, you can have your restaurant website, and use the aggregator, Uber Eats, and all of the other alternative to Uber Eats. And then if we are in hospitality, we have the aggregator for hospitality, like Booking.com, Aguda, hotels, or the aggregator or the meta search engine, like TripAdvisor, which now it's a meta aggregator for hospitality. So the more we place our product and service to more places, these are like digital shopping mall. In real life, in each mall, we need to have a shop. Now, in digital, there are so many digital malls that cost this much. It costs a little bit of time to have a shop in each one of them. Why we don't have a shop in each one of them? Even if the shop is not selling, on TikTok, you cannot sell, but you can showcase your product, your service, yourself, your personality. And then you have a link that go to your shop that fill the sale. Or you have a link that go to your home page that capture the lead, and then from the lead, you sell whatever you want to sell. Now, if you are a B2B, even if you offer B2B services, you can even post your services even on Fiverr.com. Something that started as a platform for cheap people, for cheap services. Now you can get services at $1,000. It's not anymore $5. It still costs Fiverr, but there are services that you can pay a professional $1,000. So that's not bad. So basically, your windows are all of your digital assets where you can showcase a product and services. Because you pay money to get somebody from a traffic source in one of your windows. Then from the window, people, they go through a set of steps. And now we talk about number 3. Number 3 are the sales systems. So traffic, windows, sales systems. The sales systems is as well what a lot of marketers call the funnel. The funnel is part of the sales system, but it's not only that. The technicality of the sales system, they can be, for example, the navigability, the usability, the call to actions, the copy. All of these are part of the sales system. So basically, if you want to explain to a corporate person the digital customer journey, which is a lot more complicated than the funnel. I know that there are very complicated funnel, but if you want to see in a simple way, the digital customer journey, where the customer is going to go from point A to point B. That's your digital customer journey, your sales system. Now, if everything is done correct, after that point, you get a conversion, you get a sale, ka-ching, ka-ching, happy, happy. We solved one problem.
Where do you see most people go wrong on the conversion side on the sales systems? Because I think I hear this often. They've got their traffic coming, they've got their windows, so to say, and then there's no sales happening. And also on the B2B side too, I think that
Big time.
there's no transaction that's going to happen directly through those funnels. No one's going to buy $100,000 SaaS solution, directly online through a funnel like that. So, what's your perspective on that?
So basically, the real reason I will reveal you in the topic number 5. So you need to stay until the very end.
Okay,
The
in there.
But I can tell you that the digital customer journey is not there. It's not done it right. So the entire funnel is designed by a marketer and has been never tested by a human. I can create a beautiful house, a beautiful, beautiful awarded house, and then you discover that there is no windows, there is no toilets, and there is no door. So the first customer that want to buy the house, they realize, what's this? I cannot even enter in my new house. And then you stop using it. Because the marketer that built it, he never really tried if this works or not. That is in simple terms what the digital customer journey should do. Then after point number 3, unfortunately, as much as we pay a lot of money in sending traffic to one of your windows, and then inside the sales system, 97% at least of traffic does not convert. Yep. It's a fact. Doesn't matter that we say we are the wizard of the guru, the super dupe of the universe. Good. You do something, 97% minimum do not convert. It's a fact. But the website is beautiful. We pay $150,000, the massive branding agency, I don't want to say names, to brand the best website in the planet. We also got an award. Look at the award. Still, you're not selling. Then what you can do, some of the traffic that has been to your website and is not converting immediately, we can send it back to other traffic source. We can retarget, remarket to them. So after 2 or 3 rounds, eventually they're going to convert. This is how we increase the number of conversion. And we can reach the famous average of 3%. Sometimes even 5. But to go more, then you need to consider the block number 4. Because the block number 3, sometimes we make a sale, good. We convert, we get ka-ching, ka-ching, happy, happy. After block number 3, what's happened to block number 4? We send our customer, our real converted customer, to loyalty. Because every startup owner knows, every SaaS owner knows that the real money is not with new customer. Because a new customer is going to cost you too much. The real money is in the loyalty. So after the same customer come back 2 or 3 times, then you make money. I remember like 6 or 7 years ago, I was looking at one of the systems that tells me who are the top spender in Google Ads. And the number 1 most of the time used to be Amazon.com. Amazon.com only in Google Ads used to spend an average of $1 million per day. Now, clearly they were not making a return on it because there was no way that you spend so much money in ads and by selling some books, some CDs, some DVD, you can make that kind of money. But after you bought once, then you start getting emails on a daily basis. Then is when you come back, Amazon makes the real money, not on your first visit. So you start calculating the cost per acquisition, the lifetime value of a client, the churn rate. All of these are within the loyalty. So you get the juicy clients, and then you have them coming back over and over and over and over and over. Then you do mailing list, and newsletter, autoresponder sequence, social games, and other tactics which are going to keep up your customer happy. I can see around now some very smart systems to do loyalty, which they tell you, you bought today and you got like 20% discount because you are my first customer. Very good. If you buy again from me within 1 week, I'll give you 25% discount. But if you buy within 2 weeks, I will give you 15% discount. If you buy within 1 month, I'll give you 5% discount. If you buy after 1 month, no discount. So basically, I invite you to get more and more and more and more. This works amazingly, for example, in the food industry, because you order from delivery and then you say, wow, but if I don't order today, I'm going to miss my mega discount. I want to keep on the mega discount. Long time back, I remember a company in US that was doing something similar. Old school company was the Motel 6. Because in 2002, I went to study 6 months at UCSD University in San Diego. And then with some of my friends, we went to see a little bit of the California. And we've been to Vegas, we've been to the typical city, typical trip. And then we were booking Motel 6 at the time as a student. We don't have much money, so we need to arrange the way we like. And then we're booking through Motel 6. If you're on a Motel 6 and you book the next night in any other Motel 6, you get a 30% discount. That's a lot. That's why we didn't even consider going to different hotels. We were going from Motel 6 to Motel 6 to Motel 6, night by night by night by night. And that's it. So this was a very smart loyalty system without technology, without internet, without Facebook, without social, without the crazy technology that there are today, without artificial intelligence. It was very effective. Now you can do loyalty with AI, with more advanced systems, and that's the real deal. Because the real money is into the loyal customers.
100%.
So then the loyal customer, out of our loyal customer, we also built sometimes some advocates. Our most loyal customer, with few little tricks, we promote them to advocates. And they're going to tell all of their friends that our product, our service is amazing. It's amazing. Because in our website, what do we say in the About Us section? That we are amazing. We are the market leader in the country, right? Am I right? If I go to any About Us section, we can say that everyone say that it's amazing. But in reality, when I see the statistics, I can see that one of the least visited page from the homepage is the About Us section. Because nobody cares about what we say about ourselves. People care about what other people say about ourselves. That's why when we start collecting reviews, and there are ways that we can help the company collecting more and more and more reviews, that is when our company shine. That is when we build advocates. Because if you sell me a service and suddenly you give me 50% discount without asking, I will think, wow, Connor is a nice guy. Maybe I will tell my wife, I bought this product from Connor, and then he gave me 50% discount, just like that. That's a nice guy. Finish like that. But if for some way, somehow, I post online that I bought a service from Connor and I was extremely happy, even without discount, then a lot of my friends, they will see that. Then a lot of potential new customer will see that. But this should be done constantly. Because if we just put a couple of recommendations from the website, yes, 2 customers, they say that I'm amazing. Okay, thank you. I mean, maybe these are my friends or these are fake reviews. So it's not going to work. For example, people use a lot LinkedIn to validate a person. You check on LinkedIn if you got recommendations, because it's not easy to get fake recommendation in LinkedIn. If the CEO of a massive corporate leave you a recommendation, you cannot fake that, all right? Then, unless maybe the CEO of the big corporate is your brother or your sister or your cousin. In this case, it can help. So basically, with loyalty, we built a lot of steady traffic that actually is going to be free of charge. We don't need to pay for that traffic. Word of mouth, digitally on steroids. So we have traffic, we have windows, we have the sales system, and we have loyalty with advocacy. Now, there is one block at the center of the digital marketing strategy. What keeps the other 4 together? This is what will never change. And I predicted that in 2009. 9 years later, I'm still using exactly the same tactic. And I can tell you that 10 years from now, it's still going to be the same. That's why I say that it's an evergreen. So what there is at the center, now there is no pizza, because typically I put pizza everywhere. In this case, there is no pizza. At the center of digital marketing strategy, there is analytics. Analytics is the only way that you have to understand what's going right and what's going wrong. As much as you may love the most advanced funnel with 50,000 bullets and things and lines, I see some of the funnel are extremely complicated. Bottom line, it's all about analytics to understand from the digital customer journey, where the customer are going and when the customers stop and they leave your website without purchasing. In this moment, you need to change the route a little bit and try a little bit a different route. And then you get the customer happy and converting. Still, you figure out that from some page, the customer is leaving. So what you do, you close the page. I like to talk about IKEA, because worldwide, IKEA pretty much is working the same way. You go to IKEA to buy furniture, and then you have to go through these steps. You cannot run away. There is no exit. The only way, you need to follow the arrows, and at the end, you reach the cashier. So that is how a retail works amazingly. Online, people can run away from a lot of different pages. So the game is to close them towards one long corridor, and at the end, there is the cashier. Kachin, kachin, that charge you. Then there is all of the other parts of your funnel, again and again and again and again and again. But there is only one way to move forward. Once you realize the people live in the middle, just close that. So they will keep going. I'll give you an example. Once I remember that from a clinic here in Dubai, the owner, they asked us to give a proposal because they want to redesign the website. So they got already few proposals. Then we came, we've done a meeting, and then we come back with a very simple digital marketing strategy. And then he said, but I asked you for a website. So you are not interested in selling us a website? And then I said, no, I'm not going to sell you a website. Your website is perfect. You don't need a website. He was shocked. I say, how is possible? I asked this guy just to come and sell me a website, and he don't want to sell me a website. And I say, your website to me looks good. Let's run a campaign for 1 month, and then I'll tell you if you need a new website. And after 1 month, we figure out that when people used to go to the insurance page in that moment had the 2 logos in it. So actually, it takes time to get approved by an insurance company as a clinic, and it takes a while. But at the same time, they already got the 6 insurance at the time, but only 2 logos, because the website was ready and nobody thought about changing the website just to add a 2 logo. Nobody thought about. And we noticed that 50% of the traffic that were going in that page were abandoning the website. So imagine, because of 4 stupid logos were missing from one page, 50% of the traffic leave the website. They were not even going to the contact page. Simply they were leaving. So the problem is not the website. The problem was that nobody has ever thought to check analytics in the proper way and figuring out that the biggest problem was in the insurance page. Now, we can always say that there are always problems. If we sell website, there are always problems in a website that you can pinpoint and you see you need a new website. But this is what marketing managers, they typically do. They got hired, and when they ask, what do we need to sell more? What do they say? You need a new website. And they know that's going to take 6 months to 1 year to have a new website ready. When the new website is ready, they change a job and they go somewhere else. So they hire a new marketing manager, and then you say, okay, now we have a new website, but we're still not selling. So what do you need? And what the new marketing manager would say, you need a new website, because now there is a new technology which you need a new website. And again, so the owner of a company, especially for B2B, they find themselves into redesigning websites one after another, hoping that the new marketing guy is going to be right. But that's not what you need. First, you need to get the 5 elements, a little bit of all of them. You don't need to become a master in everything. You need a little bit of everything. And then you start noticing what's going wrong, and you start adjusting. Let's say you have 3 traffic sources. If one of them is not performing, the problem is the traffic source. But if you have 3 traffic sources and the 3 traffic sources are not performing, then there is something else afterwards. Maybe the website. Maybe there is the wrong people. Maybe there is something else. Now, obviously, understanding analytics is not as easy as it may seem. As much as there are analytic platforms for free, like even Google Analytics, amazing. They give you a lot of information. But you should get somebody that has a little bit of analytical mind, because otherwise is going to stick with some metric, which is not what you need.
So Christian, I got to start wrapping this thing up. Lots of stuff to digest here, and it's been incredible. And I know you have a plethora of free information out there. And so, in winding down on all of this, guys, you got the 5 principles, the 5 core pillars that you really need, and I can verify. I mean, those are completely evergreen, no matter what the platform, no matter where we end up going in the future. Very, very important. And so on that, number one, how can people find your book? What's the best way to do that? And then what is the best way to find you, follow you, and get into contact with you?
That's wonderful. The book is in every Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and so many different stores. So when you search anything with pizza and marketing in it, you will see my book because I launched it exactly 1 year ago. And a couple of months later, it was in the top list of Amazon books sold worldwide. So
beautiful.
I don't know now what's the ranking. I'm not checking at all. But the Pizza Guide to Digital Marketing, that's basically, you can find it anywhere. And when you search for my name, Christian Farioli, you Google me, I am absolutely everywhere. You will see only one Christian Farioli. But the best place to connect with me is always LinkedIn. Because in LinkedIn, I'm constantly posting good stuff. And I'm also checking the platform quite regularly compared to all of the other social, which I do kind of automatically. So I need to do it because people expect that the digital marketing experts has a lot of social. But I'm telling you, I'm not looking for social at all. I get enough clients that I don't need to get crazy on Facebook or stuff like this. But you just Google me and you will find me in a lot of different spaces.
Cool. Well, that sounds awesome, man. I can't thank you enough for mentoring us through that today. And with that as well, we're going to part ways here. And so all of you listening, make sure, number one, subscribe. Please subscribe wherever you're listening into this. Leave a 5-star review so others can find the show too. And with that, we will see you over on the next one.